Hi, and welcome to the Maze channel. This is a platform where we unpack management and leadership challenges. I'm your host, Tabo Moalus. If you are new here, please consider subscribing and hit the notification button so as you'll be informed whenever a new video gets posted. Let us now navigate the leadership and management maze by diving deep into today's topic. In the previous episodes, we dealt with chaos and confusion. Now we will focus on incompetence. When one talks about incompetence, the following comes to mind: A. Lack of ability to do something. B. Lack of capacity. C. Lack of skill. D. A lack of knowledge. All this lead to a feeling of being powerless. This comes to a sharp focus when there is a change of context. This is so in spite of the fact that one might be familiar with an environment and still be uncomfortable in it. When context is familiar, it is often referred to as a comfort zone. Incompetency must not be confused with lack of intelligence, even though lack of intelligence often leads to incompetency. One might be intelligent and yet be incompetent due to a change in context, a lack of resources, capacity, or lack of information, amongst others. Let us deal with a change in context that leads to incompetency first. If you have been doing your job for some time, you will most likely be competent in it due to repetition and learned experience. You deal with challenges encountered with tried and tested methods which had been working before. Routines are well established and perfected. You know which resources to apply and where to find them. You probably put together an excellent team with individual members complementing each other. Every member has been trained and skilled in their respective areas of responsibility. You are confident in the performance of your team and sure of your competency. Then your operational context suddenly changes. Say, for an example, your organizational leadership is of the opinion that your unit must be phased out. You'll now have to be deployed somewhere else and have to lead a unit to whose mandate and operational requirements are different from the ones you are accustomed to. Now, that really put a spanner in the works. With this change in your work environment, you'll feel or experience the above mentioned, which are a lack of ability, which is due to a lack of knowledge in the new area, a lack of skill set necessary to do the job. You might feel incapacitated by this change and thus feel powerless in the process. Thus, you have moved from a previous position of competence to that of present incompetence due to external factors beyond your control. This is just a microcosm of what might happen to your organization at a bigger scale. Unforeseen circumstances might compel your organization to change its core business, thus requiring a new approach and skill set that it might not possess. This will make it incompetent to deal with the new circumstances. Therefore, this chaotic situation renders a successful organization into an incompetent entity. As a leader or manager, you must prepare for such eventualities. As stated previously, we are governed by chaos, confusion, and incompetence. Contextual changes do not only come due to unpredictable outside forces, but by internal forces as well, such as a promotion. In order to understand and address incompetency, I recommend that we look at the following three theories. This being the Peter Principle, differentiation rule, and the four stages of competence. The Peter Principle by Lawrence J. Peter states as such: people rise through organizations to the highest level of their competencies. The final promotion a person receives is to a level beyond his or her competency, and it is at this level that the person remains. One will always be incompetent at a certain level until he or she gets competent by upskilling, training, and self development. When one starts a new job or learn a new skill, he will be incompetent at it until he acquires the skills that enable him to be competent. However, one must never be incompetent for long in a job that is employed to do. The tolerance of incompetency varies from one organization to the other. Also, It is less tolerated at a senior level due to its implications at that level. Many organizations put incumbents on a probation period for them to show an acceptable competency level. Let us unpack this principle further. It states that people get promoted from the positions of their highest competency to positions of their highest incompetence. Take, for instance, a highly successful salesperson being promoted to a position of a sales manager. He has proven himself to be an excellent salesperson, thus maintaining a high competency level as a salesperson. Now he has been placed in a position that is unfamiliar to him, which renders him to be highly incompetent in it. This might prove to be a position which he is incompetent in due to the reasons we stated previously. He will need mentoring and training so as to be competent in his new job. Another example will be that of a learner going through the schooling system. When she gets competent in her current grade at the end of the year, she will get promoted to the next grade which she is not yet competent in. She will then be made competent in this new grade through being taught and mentored by head teachers. Once competent, she will be promoted again to the next higher grade. This process will repeat itself up to a tertiary level until she feels that she is well equipped to embark on her career of choice. This process will repeat itself right up to a tertiary level until she feels that she is well equipped to embark on her career of choice. Let us now turn our attention to Jack Welch's differentiation rule. He categorized employees into three groups, this being the top 20 performing employees who are ready for promotion. Right below this group is the vital middle, which consists of 70% of employees. These people displayed potential to do better. And lastly, the bottom 10%, which consists of poor performers. These people do not show potential for improvement. Jack Welch had this to say about this bottom 10% performers. Open quote. We made a mistake employing you, and you made a mistake of accepting our job offer. Close quote. This theory has been heavily criticized in certain quarters. The last theory we will deal with is what is referred to as the four stages of competence, which is credited to Martin M. Broadwell. This theory asserts that one will go through four stages in acquiring a new skill. The first is that of unconscious incompetence, which asserts that you do not know what you do not know. This is a lack of awareness stage where one is unaware of his incompetence. This normally happens with new recruits or newly promoted individuals, not knowing all that the new job entails. Once in the job, they then realize how little they know about it. In most cases, they are not even aware of the skills to be learned to do the job. As a leader or manager, you will be surprised by how many people with no experience in your job think that they can do it with relative ease or better than you. Once they become aware of what it takes to do it, they might step aside. This overconfidence in their competency is as a result of them not knowing what they do not know. It is also referred to as the Dunning Kruger effect. The second stage is that of conscious incompetence, whereby a new recruit or newly promoted becomes aware of his incompetency and the skills he needs to acquire in order to perform his duties. This is an awareness stage where one knows what he does not know and he is fully aware of this blind spot. The third stage is that of conscious competence. Once an individual is aware of his incompetence and what skills he has to learn in order to be competent, he will embark on self development. This will subsequently render him competent and then he will know what he knows. In other words, he will be conscious or aware of his competence. He still needs high level of concentration to perform tasks. The last stage is that of unconscious competence, where tasks are performed with less concentration. This is a skilled stage where one does his job as a second nature. One is able to multitask at this level of competency. Having the Peter principle, differentiating rule, and the four stages of competency theories in mind, let us now construct a performance ladder. Let us focus on level A first. Just like with other levels, each is divided according to the differential rule of 20, 70, and 10. 10% being the poor performers, 70% being the vital middle, and 20% being the top performers. At some point, 20% of Block A were once located at the bottom 10% of Block A due to an inherent incompetence. This is commonly due to a lack of information or being new in a position. With training and mentoring, most moved from 10% bucket to 70% bucket of A and ultimately to top 20% bucket. This will be their highest level of competence. The 20% of Block A are now ready to be promoted to Block B, which requires a higher level of competency which they might not have. As you might have noted, some are already at a level of 10% of Block B. Some will be at a lower level of 70% of Block B already. Should the 20% of Block A be promoted to Block B, they will be moving from their highest level of competency, which is 20% of A, to the highest level of incompetency, which is 10% of B. This process will be repeated until one gets a final promotion, which of course will be above his level of competency as per the Peter principle. On their final promotion, most people will be in the 70% vital middle, sometimes referred to as a critical mass. The antidote for incompetency is acquisition of the prerequisite skill set, coaching, mentoring, and knowledge for the position. This will bring some order and comfort in your job until another disruption occurs, and the cycle repeats itself. Many people avoid leadership roles for fear of being judged to be incompetent. Compounding this challenge is the fact that when one occupies a leadership position, all eyes will be on him. But as we have shown, one can overcome incompetency. I trust you found the information shared here to be useful. Please like and share this video. Be on the lookout for more informative and exciting videos. And remember, never deprive the world of the best version of yourself. Bye for now.